And we're right on time today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Arkansas State Dynasty. We have an off season, the second of this series as we take this in to year 3. We capped off year 2 in exciting fashion with a 57-54 bowl victory over Sam Houston. Phenomenal game, great way to end the year. And we can cross off one of our goals, having our first bowl game win of the series. Now, today we go into year 3 again with the transfer portal concerns kind of looming over our heads. Will we lose key players like Bo Jackson? Will we have to again search for a new quarterback this year? We'll have to see. It's a really unpredictable part of the game that makes every offseason a little uneasy, because a couple players leaving you're not counting on could take the offseason in a completely different way. So welcome everyone. Glad to be here streaming live again in this series after a full year of doing the live comm games and getting this series now kind of almost feels like a reboot, switching over to the live comm format, but I really enjoyed year 2. Okay, can we get new coordinators? Now, I did see all the feedback about firing the coordinators. I ended up not, and not because I forgot, but because I looked at our coordinators during that conference championship week, and I saw their level 20, and I wasn't sure how much better, things could go, but I liked the boosts that we were getting, namely from the OC, where we're able to get an off-season boost at the quarterback position, an off-season boost at running back, on the offensive line. I like these boosts. Now, their contracts are up at the end of this season, so we may get new ones down the road, but I felt like I liked a lot of the boosts that we're getting from these players. Our DC helps out a lot of ratings in the front 7 and in the secondary already. It doesn't help our recruiting a lot. Neither one has recruiter unlocked, so that's, one area where we could be doing better, but I'm at least able to buy that stuff now with Reggie Carter. And I have 12 points available right now, and I'm going to spend those right here on Portal King. And that's going to make transferring linebackers more interested. We're going to stay true to Reggie Carter here and upgrade the linebacker abilities ahead of everything else. But yeah, I like those boosts overall, and I didn't want to give those up necessarily. But what we're going to see here in year 3 and in the offseason is us try to piece together another offense, because it changed so much from season 1 into year 2. If you look at our top 5 receivers this season, all of those players came in through the portal. And 4 of them are graduating, and who knows about Bo Jackson? My camera here is doing a good job blocking right now. Let me move that. But we're looking at deal-breaking concerns for Bo Jackson, for quarterback Ricky Collins. Does he choose to go somewhere else? And at a variety of positions, there are players where, they could leave. So we lost almost every key player we could have after season 1. And we'll see what happens today. Hard to say right now. It's your birthday, Mark. Happy birthday to you. That is awesome. I just had mine a little bit ago. Not to steal your thunder, Mark. It's your day. Have a great one. I hope you're having a good birthday and got some nice plans tonight for some food. Why is Ricky wanting to leave if he started a majority of the season? Probably because he's the second-rated quarterback on the team. So he's looking at Duncan Grant as like competition he doesn't want. And I don't know if this is going to update. I heard some playing time things update when you get to the end of the year. Just know that for Ricky Collins, it's a D+ right now. And we'll see where it goes. Bo Jackson is going to transfer for you as a gift. I don't want to replace Bo Jackson, man. He is such a phenomenal player. I've already created a little bit of a transfer portal wish list. You know, I have a few positions of need in my notes right now. Let me pull that up. So, power running back. Regardless of what happens, we need to add some power in the backfield. Somebody on short yardage or goal line that can come in and give, hopefully, Bo Jackson a rest next season. I also think that as we lose all these receivers, we have 2 4-stars incoming, right? And I think we need to add maybe 1 veteran, and I just want a reliable receiver. Get me a Hudson Clement, maybe not the most dynamic, but on 3rd and 7, give me a guy that we can count on to get open and give us some good looks. If we have some young, developing receivers, I'm guessing their route runnings are not going to be at the top. So a route artist archetype veteran receiver is on my wish list. I think as we lose our top 3 rated tight ends, that we need a complete tight end. Someone who is a plus in the running game and can catch passes. So Jabari Bush could play a lot next year, but I'm not sure he's going to develop much. His caps are not very good. His run blocking's on the lower side. So I would like more insurance here. And with Drew Nicholson, I just don't think that at 70 catching and his 75 speed that he's going to be a huge receiving threat unless he takes some unforeseen boost. And then I'm also looking at an overhaul to defensive tackle. We are losing our top 2 rated guys, and we need to get more bodies here. We need more veterans, higher awareness players that can stop the run for us. And then I also have a few players that when we get to the training results, I really want to see how they develop. So at receiver, Offseason Orlando. Do we see a big boost looking at his caps? You know, route running could get a lot better. That's already a strength of his. And maybe Orlando is that reliable receiver that we need in Season 3. But he has work to do, like 68 catching. That's not great. I'm looking at tight end Leo Westerman. There's a chance that he just becomes like the main guy next season. Depends how much of a leap he takes. He isn't going to get much better with the hands, but route running has some upside. Blocking, you know, he could get better. Will it? We'll find out. And then at linebacker, as we have, we're going to graduate Alexander Kilgore and then Aaron Alexander. Well, how about BJ Wisevich, the player I was initially hyping up in the year 1 recruiting class? Can we get a leap here and get him ready to take over for Kilgore? The upside is there. Sending good vibes for the offseason. Really enjoy your content. Been watching since the Gophers. #Bolieve. Thank you, Resist the Empire. I appreciate the super chat. And Mr. Dizo for the membership renewal. Thank you. Hopefully we have a fun day today as we take this series ahead to Season 3. I don't think there's anything else we really have to go over here initially. Really hoping Noteboom takes a big leap. Absolutely. We all know that he has upside. Didn't really realize it much in Season 1, but hopefully we get to see some good things here going forward. Now, as we're going to sim ahead here a few weeks, I also want to say that today's stream, we got Evan Brown, Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week for the Bowl. We'll take all that extra hardware we can get. Bo Jackson was Offensive Player of the Week. 20 carries, 125 yards, big day receiving at the same time. Where would we be without Bo Jackson? Let's continue after one moment here. Today's stream is again sponsored by Control Freak. Been really happy to work together with them. Control Freak has the best controller accessories. Whether you're looking for just an upgrade, you know, I don't think that the sticks on the DualSense are great by default. They get the job done, but I really like Control Freak's thumbsticks, using the clutch thumbsticks here myself. This is a new controller, by the way. And yeah, whether you're playing first-person shooters or whatever you play, Xbox, PlayStation, give the link down in the description a look when you have a chance, and my code MrHurriicane can save you 12%. Thank you to Control Freak. And let's get to the good stuff here in the off-season. Yeah, we're going to keep looking at 3 stars in the portal. When they come from big schools, we can generally trust they're going to be solid players. Now, we have a lot more of our points this offseason to spend on high school players. You know, we got 6 players in the class. It's going to take a little bit more. Oh, you like the collection there, Dylan? Yeah, that's the bookcase filled. A lot of those, I had to go, like, layer them. I got a bunch of games behind games just to make more fit there. The collection must grow. It must. All right. We're in Natty Week. See who the champion is. You have not missed players leaving. You haven't really missed anything yet. We are just getting started. The Congressional Library of Video Games. I like that. Any chance you can show the sliders? Absolutely. Now, keep in mind there was an update that just came out, so some things may change. Matt already told me a few things he was thinking about. But these are the sliders I played on for the entirety of Season 2. I felt like the games were playing pretty solid. I just really enjoyed playing. Now, we just got big updates on CFB, and today was Madden's. So, you know, I was editing a video earlier today, and I got in a couple slow sim games on Madden. As we take a little bit of a detour, because I'm actually really happy after getting in a couple games today. Slow sim all-pro default on Madden 26. This is really good news for the Raiders series. So this first game here, I'm showing you, Carolina wins 27-21. And this was not an excessive game in terms of like sacks and TFLs. I believe there were 7.5 combined sacks. Nobody over like 3 TFLs. And it was an action-packed game. You know, Jaguars were trying to hit big plays the entire time to Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas. I got an Eagles, Raiders, Steelers series. Did I say Raiders? My Steelers series. My bad. So I did a Cowboys-Eagles sim game. Because, you know, the Eagles have an amazing offensive line. You want to see that, you know, stay true. They have a great defensive line. Now, the Eagles running game here, as you can see, with both Tank Bigsby and Saquon Barkley, very healthy averages. I was not seeing a lot of TFLs. Now, I was editing, and it was more of like a second screen thing on the side, where I was peeking over, you know, seeing plays play out, but I mostly wanted to see the stats at the end. And I really think we're in a much better spot. This Cowboy-Eagles game, by the way, 45-30. Extremely high scoring. 1.5 combined sacks in the entire game. Then I had like 7 to 8 in that Panthers-Jaguars game, and that's combined. So, you know, 2 games in, this new patch on Madden 26 does seem to make the experience I'm looking for better. It's my Steelers franchise that will benefit. I'm not doing anything with the Raiders at this time. I don't know why I keep saying... I know it's not the first time I've thought of the Raiders when talking about my Steelers series. Anyway, as we get that out the way, let's take a look at the CFP bracket. Wow, is that a blowout? Ohio State goes down. Let me stop blocking the information here. Georgia wins 38-9. The Dogs are back on top. Their closest game was against Texas, a 2-point win in the quarterfinals. Ohio State beat Michigan. You know, we'll take a Rose Bowl win there, 48-21, right? Raiders did perform badly against the Chargers on Monday. Yeah, that offense looks like it's in a really rough form right now. Expected a better game from Geno Smith. They're not blocking well for Ashton Genty. They have some things to work on there with Chip Kelly. At work, checking out the video. What's up? What's going on, Jameis? See, Ohio State, they definitely missed Bo Jackson in that one. Did Tulane win a game? Tulane? Shout out to them over Clemson. That's a respectable year. Tulane, what's the term always for the non-power 4? The G5? What does that even mean? So yeah, the Dogs are back on top as we will make the move past the season recap. Group of 5, that's right. Group of 5. Conference USA, American, Sun Belt, MAC, and something else. Group of 6. Watching from Europe right now. That's what I'm talking about. Don't always see a lot of European college football fans. See if Rayner played. I think I went too far. I'm not sure I can get to that any longer. Did Jalen Rayner ever play for Clemson? Ever? He did? Wow. Thank you for telling me to look this up. Because he might have had to finish out the season for Clemson. He did. Week 10 through 13 and their bowl. Jalen Rayner. I mean, he brought the best game he had to the Syracuse matchup. Wow, thank you for letting me check this. He actually did finish, the stats were all right. 11-4. Got 5 games in. So it wasn't a complete nothing burger for him in his final college season. I was checking out box scores on Saturday, I was waiting for some tacos in the drive-thru, scrolling through some college football results Saturday afternoon. Jalen Rayner plays for Incarnate Ward now. I had no idea. I just happened to click on a box score. They played, I think, a larger school, and I'm like, hey, it's Jalen Rayner. Or no. E.J. Colson. E.J. Colson plays for them. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up all my quarterbacks. I don't know what series I'm doing on the second channel. I don't know who my quarterback is. I told you I had a birthday, right? I'm getting old. No, I've been checking out the Arkansas State box scores, and they got to start following my Corey Rucker blueprint a little bit closer. I'm not good, Rec. I don't think I am. And the Vikings suck. Wow. On the panic meter with the Vikings, I'm still at like a 4 out of 10. I'm cool right now. It hasn't been great. They're 1-1. Lucky to be 1-1. McCarthy's injury, obviously, that sucks. I'd like to see him try to bounce back in this next game, but instead I get to wake up Sunday morning and prepare for Carson Wentz. Favorite college? I'm a Minnesota fan. Minnesota sports fan, through and through. So I've been watching the Gophers. I had to stay up late on Saturday to catch some of that Cal game, and they did not win. Cal's quarterback, man, he can really play. He's been looking so good. Cal might be back in a big way. All right, guys. This is, one of the biggest events right now. Players leaving. Who leaves? Who stays? And the biggest question of all, what does Bo Jackson want to do after such a great season? What does Ricky Collins want to do? Here we go, players leaving. Bo Jackson wants to leave. Ricky Collins wants to leave. Josh Flowers, Hunter Summers, Drew Collins, Isaiah Hornsby, Chase Stratford, Kamari Nix, Malachi Whedon. Our offense is gone again. Ever play Skyrim, Kane? Yes, but I've never, beat it or put more than, 30 hours into a run. I haven't played, though, in, close to 10 years, so I wonder if I would be able to stick with it better these days. Put in just under 75 hours. You could put a lot more in if you wanted to. Man. So how many players is that? Is that, 20 again? 2, 3. Oh, come on. Keenan Kamara. No. I can't. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Bo knows it's time to go. We were a really good stepping stone for Bo Jackson. Now, up there, 4 persuasions. I only had 2 last year. So I kind of feel like I have a chance to maybe convince some players to stay. One of them is going to be BJ Wisevich, as I think he could develop pretty nicely this season. The issue is that pro potential is probably not going to get any better, and that's his deal breaker. So we could be in this same boat next season. Is it worth it? I have a medium chance of him returning. Pro potential is just not a good deal breaker for us to be trying to bring players in on. I'm not even sure how we got some of these players to begin with. Now, Isaiah Hornsby is one player I think is very key. Conference prestige is his. But I'm going to use one on him for sure. No! Hornsby is gone. We got 3 quarterbacks trying to enter the portal this season. Keenan Kamara, Josh Flowers. I like Ricky Collins. Playing style is one of those deal breakers where you could actually see us raising the grade next season. Playing time is another tricky one, but I'm okay letting a couple of those players go. 3 left. And yes, I can try to get them back in the transfer portal. As Thomas points out, that's really important to remember. This is not necessarily the end of the road for these players, but if they lock us out in the offseason recruiting, then it really is. And I will try to do everything I can to bring back Bo Jackson, including one of my persuasion attempts. I will spend one on Bo Jackson. Morale would change dramatically if he decides to stay. And Bo Jackson has not been persuaded. We have 2 left. All right. I'm going to use one on BJ Wisevich. And success. I think he could start next season. We're already going to have some needs in the transfer portal, plus this current high school class, so to not have to worry about inside linebacker potentially is at least something to go our way. But then, what do? Keenan Kamara is an option. My first quarterback I brought in. Mason Myers is a center who might be more of a backup. And extremely low for Ricky Collins. I just don't see us, making that work. Josh Flowers at very low. Do we really think that would be a chance worth taking here? I mean, he does have really good caps. So, I could see Flowers being a good quarterback next year for somebody. Evan Brown obviously was very productive. One of the safeties, yeah, Malachi Whedon, Evan Brown. You know, Evan Brown was named like an All-American. So maybe he ends up getting some sort of a boost. We'll try Evan Brown. And it's failed. So we fail on 3 out of 4. And I'm really going to have to see if we can bring back some of these players, because that's just huge to lose all that talent. So that's 18 players leaving in the transfer portal on top of all of these graduates. So, yeah, these teams, they change so much from one year to the next. I think we could probably have a chance to bring back Kamara, but pro potential is a tricky deal breaker to try and work around. Yeah, it doesn't appear anybody's getting drafted this year. None of those 3 receivers. So draft results, nobody. None. Jalen Raynor did not get drafted. I wish I could sort by conference here. I think that'd be really cool to see all the Sun Belt players, you know, in a more organized fashion. App State's 24th ranked. Wow. Hey, Red Murdoch. He can play. Red Murdoch's a good player. Yeah, and pro potential is not going to get better for a very long time, as Thomas points out. We've had 1 player drafted. Nobody this season. So, like, hyper-focusing on the right deal breakers has to be an emphasis. You know, playing style, playing time, conference prestige. You know, that one, we're on, like, the cusp of meeting certain teams or certain players' deal breakers. But in general, the Sun Belt's still going to be on the lower end there. No one from Louisiana who ended up number 22 in the country with a successful season. I mean, was anybody from the Sun Belt drafted? Yeah, proximity to home's a really good one. And I think, like, even players in Alabama will probably meet it for us. And that's something I think as I play more in this game, like, I really want some more stability. Tyshawn Chapman just went in round 5 from Southern Miss, so there was a Sun Belt player taken. But overall, not many. When does Reggie Carter go on a rant against NIL and the portal ruining our great sport? That is a great question. How did we get Bo Jackson in the first place, though? Maybe we had a generous booster last year and we don't have that this season. So we have some work to do in the transfer portal then, as we look at what is left. Well, not necessarily, because this roster page still shows all the seniors and everything. But Duncan Grant returning is at least, you know, a good fallback where, you know, he has his own weaknesses, but I think after another year of development, Grant might end up being the quarterback again. I don't think quarterback ends up being the biggest priority. Rashawn Coleman is our other quarterback, and his caps aren't very good. I will say, like, 2 isn't enough, especially when Coleman's caps are bad, so we have to have another quarterback join this team, but I'm not sure it has to be someone who starts immediately, although I don't think a lot of you guys are huge on Duncan Grant. Well, I have something entertaining to watch before the concert I'm going to tonight, A Day to Remember and Yellow Card. You gonna go hard for Ocean Avenue when that comes on? Thank you, Braven, for the 79 months. How do walk-ons work? Is it just if you have roster space? I don't know that there are walk-ons in this game. Maybe if you don't have a roster minimum met, but it hasn't come up in my series. So it doesn't like fill the same way it did in NCAA 14. So I suppose if you're not meeting a minimum, then it auto-fills. Just to save you from a bad situation like that. By the way, did we become a 2-star program? I did not see on the loading screen. We're still a 1-star. Still 1-star. I didn't see anybody get drafted by Georgia Southern, Patrick. Do I have any plans for the weekend? This time of year, it mostly ends up being football and not a whole lot else. Here's to a successful year 3 and over a decade of watching. Take this donation to the NIL fund as incentive to play my Boilermakers next season. Like a team like Purdue would fit, a mid team or a little bit lower in a larger school. We're always looking for those measuring stick kind of games. So thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Resist the Empire, the big Star Wars fan, for joining the channel members. Every month I do a channel member live stream where I talk about the channels and, sometimes I play baseball for, stuff in the franchise I'm working on. Or last month I was playing Madden 06 or 07 on the PS2, scouting for future content I could do. Those streams are always fun. They happen at the end of every month. All right. So, like I said, a lot of this still needs to be focused on the high school class, right? I have these 8 players I'm still trying to get, and some of these battles are competitive. So I have to put some legit points into the Booker battle, Frederick Cruz, Raheem Ismail, Jamerson Sharp. We have like 4 simple battles, 4 contested. So why don't we clean up this board then? As I'm going to let Kentucky go there. I even have some offers here that I might just end up winning by default. But I need some portal slots opened up. But I'm in first for a lot of these players. Let's go to the portal quick and see who we could put back on our board. So first off, there's one 5-star player, Micah Hudson. There are a bunch of 4-stars. Looks like we have like 106 or so. Now, how many are willing to talk to us? There are 6, including a quarterback, Eli Holstein. I've heard of him before. And we got a couple running backs there, so we may take a look. Oh, Josh Dallas got drafted from GSU. Okay. Yeah, there were only a couple from the Sun Belt teams. Is Bo Jackson going to be considered a 3 or a 4-star, though? Oh, man, the dream is over. Bo Jackson is not going to be returning. If we look at our Arkansas State teams, players, I think I have to filter this so I can see who's all leaving, but I can't talk to any of the quarterbacks at all. Locked out here for Ricky Collins. Josh Flowers is gone. Both running backs are out of here. I think we had a couple receivers in here. Chauncey Cobb, who's actually getting like a lot of the targets in real life for Arkansas State. Play against the team Bower Collins goes to? You know how we do it around here, Kaleidoscope. Thank you for the membership, and yeah, putting that in my head too, because I wasn't thinking about it quite yet, but definitely would love to see Bo Jackson again. Kane, is the member stream where you do the Raiders series you keep talking about? That's funny. That's funny. Thank you. Thoughts on the UCLA situation? Will you ever fix them and get them back from mediocrity in a series? It would be interesting to take on a larger school that's in a really tough spot. I haven't done that in a while. And, I mean, they already fired their head coach. The Nico, can you call it a signing? Let's just call it a signing. The Nico signing is really not looking like a good one for them. And that program has just fallen so far. I feel like, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like as soon as Josh Rosen was drafted, just down the tubes. Was that the last positive, UCLA season? Let's poach some Arkansas players. We should do that. And we actually have some options here. I'm going to throw one on the board. I'll do a more thorough search. But right now I'm taking a look at any players I could try to have return. Mason Myers is one. Drew Collins, he is gone. He might go to Georgia. We're going to have a lot of players to check up on. DTR was after? Okay. That wasn't, the rock bottom years. Did it start with Chip Kelly? Okay, Isaiah Hornsby, I would actually get pretty aggressive to try to have him return. Right now, not planning on Marlins or Steelers today. Likely Steelers tomorrow. And I'll be recording some of the Marlins as well, either tonight or tomorrow. Chip Kelly mentioned 2 more times than you would expect coming into the stream. Yeah, funny how it has a way of happening like that. All right. So, running back. Is that a fair place to start? Who wants to come to Arkansas State? Because, man, I really liked having Bo Jackson last year. Jarek Gibson, playing time deal breaker. It'd be a 1-year fix. Same for Deshaun Bishop. Use the search function. Do I have enough filters to really narrow it down to all the best players I could go after? Because I can't target many of these players. That's why I'm not really using search a whole lot. Joel's Goff, though, is a sophomore. So potentially like a 2-year player. Playing time is his deal breaker, too. Interest in top 8 would limit it. Okay, let's try that. Hit the wrong button. Yeah, edge has to be a little bit more of a priority now, losing Collins and already having only a couple different edge rushers there on the team. The portal ain't taking it easy on me in this series. I think I need to choose running back. Okay, this is kind of a cool way of doing it then. This ain't all the best ones, though. So these are all the players that have us in their top 8 already. Might be easier to get them. Trelane Maddox, 6'1", 215. Only had 7 carries last year for Georgia Tech. Ooh, Antonio Rockwell. That's another player we could target. But man, I don't have a lot of target space on the board right now, so I can't just put a ton of running backs on the board and still get all the positions I need. Because now, like, suddenly quarterback becomes an area of concern. And yeah, I don't want to miss players here using the search function. So, quarterback. We're going to have to get somebody. Just looking at some names that are out there. Get a walk on and let him start. I got to make year 3 watchable. I don't know about that. So, okay, if we go here toward the top, then Kent Hilton, transfer sophomore. Looking at smaller schools. He's a pure runner. Do we think dual threat or pure runner has better passing ratings? I'm assuming dual threat. And a freshman here. Okay. A really young player, Reggie Meeks. Previously with Kansas. I'm going to put Reggie Meeks on the board. And then, you know, I wanted to add a receiver to the board. Ideally, like a route artist. Although maybe elusive route runner could also work. Tank Boston. 49 catches last year for NC State. Or we could target somebody who already has us higher on the board. And there might need to be some of that, considering I have a lot I need to try and get done here. And stage 1 is critical for putting together a good initial board. So, Xavier Johnson. I know he can play. And he's from Memphis, our rival. I already know Xavier Johnson's good. And I got him in the Kalispell series, which I would still like to bring back at some point when I'm not doing 3 series at the same time. I'm going to have to put Xavier Johnson there on the board. I need a tight end. 6'8", 241, caught 56 balls last year. Jackson Warren, Arizona. Interested. I'm going to have to get an edge. Charlie Collins from Arkansas. We already are third on his board. Okay. Yeah, 6'8" tight end too. D tackle, maybe multiple guys. 383 pounds. Samu Tamanu Pepe. That's the best I can do right now. If I get him, we'll learn his name. And I think I'm going to have to add some safeties. Box specialist. That's not the archetype I'm interested in, and it's who wants to come here. Cody DeCambra, coverage specialist. And then a box specialist, box specialist, box specialist. Why do the box specialists like us so much? Yeah, we're going to go with Keon Dunlap. That's going to give us 35 targets right now. Let's see if we can build an initial board that works. So, Steven Katula is one of the running backs I've been trying to get, but because I added now these big portal running backs to the board, that hurts his deal breaker. So that's something I have to keep in mind. But this one's competitive here for Theo Booker. Let's just say I got to go 25 at least on competitive battles. Maybe more. But I think maybe do like 25 in the first week and just see how hard the other teams are trying. And then raise it from there. And put, you know, more of my points into the portal in stage 1 to try to get off to a good start. So yeah, I could still end up getting Catula. I was thinking just 25 here. That's 100 points. None on the guys that are really uncontested. And the rest going into the portal guys. And I don't think I can really afford to do any scouting right now. You know, these are highly ranked players in most cases. You know, players like Hornsby I know well. Off-season visits now matter since the update. Really? Really? Because every time I do one of these streams, Kane, off-season visits are worthless. The rules have changed. I have to add a quarterback. I got Reggie Meeks on here. All right, so we're going to offer a scholarship here to Meeks. We're going to offer a scholarship to Xavier Johnson, Jackson Warren, Charlie Collins, Noah Herrick. Basically, all these players. The portal was good to us last season. And then I also had Antonio Rockwell here. And I think I will offer to him. I know I've seen his ratings before because he plays at Louisiana. So there's enough familiarity. And then Trelane Maddox. I wanted to add a running back with some more size. An elusive bruiser. I want Isaiah Hornsby back. Now, I have a couple more players here, but I'm going to focus on these transfer portal options on the board. So I'll go like 25 here for Hornsby. I'll do, 25 on the running backs. I'll do 25 on Meeks. I might go a little bit higher on Xavier Johnson because I know he can really play. We're doing at least 25 on everybody. I might go 35 on Charlie Collins because, man, we are thin at edge right now. And then, again, the higher amounts on the D tackles. And maybe some of these turn into 50s. I think I have the points to turn these into 50s. So we'll do 50 on the D lineman. Yep, I lost our entire offense again, Kevin. I could not convince Bo Jackson to stay. Ricky Collins decided to take his talents elsewhere. And I just have a lot of patching up to do to this roster right now. Yeah, I don't have to be too aggressive at receiver, but I definitely wanted a veteran. And now Xavier Johnson is a player. I put some extra stock into the fact that I already know he can play. I'm familiar with his game. All right, so 35 on Xavier Johnson, 25s here. I got offers out. I got 10 points to spend. Let's see. 362 is one of the best rated players in this class. Jackson Warren's 183. Well, that's okay. My videos can always be caught up on down the road. That's the beautiful part of doing this series. You can watch them whenever it works for you. So thank you for the super chat. Itchy Beans. Long-time fan, Kane. Haven't been able to keep up as much these past couple years. The content's there whenever you need it. And maybe it ain't for a while, but it'll be there. All right. You know, I'm going to put this 10 on Warren because I really want to add the tight end. All right. So that's going to be our stage 1. Quarterback needs 50? Maybe. Let's see how competitive these get because we're targeting a lot of different things right now. On to the next stage. Any new players? No. Still a one-star program here at Arkansas State, and now week 2 of off-season recruiting. Memphis pulled their offer on Booker. I think we could probably then remove the points. Frederick Cruz, wow, we had like a bunch of teams pull. JMU pulled for Ismail. Is this happening for the majority of like high school players? Because every competitive battle here turned one-sided. But now let's see those portal players. Beginning here with Hornsby. He could go to Louisiana Tech. I would advise against that. Trelane Maddox. We get bumped up to 2nd. Antonio Rockwell puts us in 2nd. Reggie Meeks. Ooh. That's going to take a lot more than that. Xavier Johnson. Very surprised that we could get him pretty easily. Jackson Warren, we're in good shape there. Collins. Noah Herrick. Okay. So I think that if I might have to find another quarterback. Louisiana Tech's progress here is kind of concerning. And look at the pipeline. He's a 4-tier pipeline for them. I'm probably going to have an easier time getting Trelane Maddox. So I'm going to bump this one up to at least 35 this week. And yeah, we can check out some players without offers for sure. I may have to just pull out of the Rockwell battle. I just don't think that unless we get aggressive, we're going to get him. I just need you to try to pronounce that D-tackle's name. I tried it earlier. I think it's Samu Tamanu Pepe. It does flow, you know. It's a long name, but it flows. Tamanu Pepe. I feel like Titus Mokiawadi Malala was more intimidating. One offer there, one offer there. Got to hold off Northwestern, but that looks good because we're sending the house. We might not need to send the house here for Herrick. And we might not have to for Collins. Jackson Warren, I might get away with 25 here. All right, let me clean up the board a little bit. You know, up here I have a bunch of players that I was offering to, but not really trying that hard to bring in. Do I want Leo Ferris on the team? I do need just more players there to develop at D-tackle. So I'll probably keep Ferris on the board. Alan Hook. See, this is the issue, is a lot of these players I never even scouted. I just gave out offers. I think I'll pull for Jeff Alexander. '30th ranked guard. I got to keep him on the board. Let's go back to the prospect list and get a second option then at quarterback. So as we look for, initial interest, It's not looking great there. Now, how about highest ranked 3-star quarterbacks that don't have an offer that are willing to talk to us? That's the biggest issue. Many of these players lack an offer. Randall Presley. Angel Fontaine. Terrence Johnston. All three are pocket passers. Am I not in Portal? I always mix that up. So maybe it's not so bad then. 3 stars, no offers, take 2. Kent Hilton. But pure runner. Not the archetype I'm really looking for. Eli Morkos, pure runner. I'd like to get a dual threat. Andrew Alford. That'll give us another player on the board. Let's see. Playing style deal breaker versus playing time. Okay. I don't know. I feel better about the playing style deal breaker because I don't want another quarterback to just be like, oh, but I don't like Duncan Grant being a higher overall than me. So they're comparable on the board. Let's go Neil Kennedy. Check the 4 stars. I don't want to get let down that bad. But there aren't any that'll consider us. Not a 1. And now let's go find another running back here. I already have one elusive bruiser on the board. I'd like a different archetype to complement, like East-West playmaker with size. That sounds interesting. Caleb Hicks. No offers. Playing style deal breaker. So that gives me a couple options. I had to back out of the Rockwell deal. I just don't think we're going to beat Louisiana Tech. It's cool that you can see, too, Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns, they're kind of in that battle. They're not trying to get them back, but they're in the top 5. So, like, maybe there are teams that bring back players here in the portal. Let's go back to our board again. Let's offer a scholarship here to Kennedy and see if this one goes a little bit better, because I just don't like where the Meeks battle is. Navy and Troy are way out in front. I could just pull the points on Meeks, going from the 176 rated player, the 37th quarterback, down to the 59th. Caleb Hicks, will give him an offer. Yeah, I'd like to add an outside linebacker. We can look into that. Devin Roche is great. I've seen some Devin Roche love if the running backs don't work out with who we have. What archetype would be good here? Maybe anything but Thumper, because I'd want just some good versatility. Signal caller, Samaj Bridgman. He's rated pretty highly on the board. And did I ever add a cornerback? I don't think I did. I'm trying to get Hornsby back. Angel Russ is boundary. I kind of like some of these freshmen. But now we're so far down the board that I don't know how good those ratings would really be. I'm on the prospect list again. Happens every time. Outside backer. Chris Cole. Oh, he has offers, though. Penn State's way out in front. All right, so I got Samaj Bridgman. I might be able to win this one still, but that would be for a junior going into his senior season. Now, hard to convince cornerbacks to come here, though. Check Cotton from LSU has you first and is a freshman. Well, I'd have to make room on the board. Do I like the 4-2-5 scheme? Yeah, with the right personnel. I especially want to be deep at like safety there and have a good versatile guy that can play the run and also handle the slot a bit. All right. You're talking about this guy here, Jaden Cotton? Okay. Will linebacker, ranked pretty highly on the board. We could always add a couple more linebackers here for Reggie Carter. So, Samaj Bridgman, Jaden Cotton. Those guys will all get 25 points of focus. And then I'm wondering here if it's not a good time. I have to be top 5 for a visit, huh? So it's a little early on most of these players. I don't think anyone can do a visit yet. So which battles are the most intense? The Hornsby one needs some more points. And we know Hornsby because he was on our team last year. Trelane Maddox, we're going to go to 50. I'm going to leave the center for now just because there are no offers. I got to check my depth chart and see how badly I need another one. I'm going to put more points into this Kennedy one. I'm going to put 50. And just in case Georgia, put some more points there. I'll put another 10 here because he had us number 1 already. All right, and we're left with 35 points that I feel pretty good about. Know where I need to put these points specifically. Herrick is in the top 5. Oh, I suppose he is. But I don't know that I need to do the visit quite yet. I'd rather wait and see if I can get it complimentary. Or actually, that would be competitive, wouldn't it? I'd have to do like Samu and Collins to be complimentary. So, you know, it'd only be 10 points because it's a close visit. We can do it here. Although, playing style. Yeah, that'll be an A. That works for me. 25 left. I'll put some more points here into the Meeks battle and just see if there's like any hope that we actually get into it, I'll put 50 here on him and Kennedy because we have to get a quarterback. And those will be our points here for week 2. Any major transfer departures? A lot. Yes. Bo Jackson, Ricky Collins, a lot of the big names. Trying to get back Isaiah Hornsby right now. We lost a lot of players just like we did last year. I'm going to go to the bathroom quick and we'll continue recruiting here in just a moment, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll throw on a little bit of background music for you. Not that I'm going to be gone that long. I'm going to play an ad. BRB. All right. Week 3. Any new offers here to the high school players? We're not seeing that. Does the CPU really do any high school recruiting in the offseason, or are they just strictly on the portal? But going to our portal targets, we jump up into first for Isaiah Hornsby, but man, this one might require a visit and 50 points of focus. Trelane Maddox, he's still looking at a couple other schools here above and below us. But in the first place now for Caleb Hicks, Reggie Meeks. See, putting 50 points here made it interesting. I think Meeks is still going to be my top target. He's rated higher as a prospect. And I could do a visit. Maybe with like him and Xavier Johnson. And then Jackson Warren. I can make that like super complimentary. But I think that we are in very good shape right now. You're in fourth for Meeks. But we had like a big gap. And now we don't. We made up a lot of ground in 1 week. But also, so is Notre Dame. So I'm going to try, let's, do we have good pitches? Playing time is a B-. Brand exposure is a D. Hard to say if, I don't think we'd actually be better off doing a hard sell of any kind here on Meeks. So it'd just be like try a visit, see if it works. We move up for Xavier Johnson, conference prestige, pro potential. Those are C's. Jackson Warren has playing style, but we're just not finding pitches information all that quickly on some of these players. Playing time and playing style. This one will be good. We can do like a 20-point soft sell here on Charlie Collins. We like that. Playing style. Pro potential. Let's take a look here. I suppose that could be his pitch. I'd be hoping that this one is clocked in. We'll try it. Probably go back down to 25 here on Dunlop. All right, so yeah, I think I'm going to do that visit plan then. It'll be 15 here, 15 here, and 15 here. I could set that all up. Can we get Reggie Meeks? And does he have playing time's the best we can do? Let's go for it. Bring in Xavier Johnson at the same time, who pro potential, conference prestige. It doesn't really matter because this is mostly to get Meeks to be interested. All right, and that's all my points here for this stage. All right, we got one more week of off-season recruiting, guys. I'm expecting to get all these high school players. And then one thing here, as UNC just took a lead there I don't like. I just need to know how thin center looks, because I don't want to be having like a walk-on there. Yeah, I have Gabe Fortson, a senior. I should definitely call upon another center. And then anything else? Are there any more positions that just need somebody? I want 2 running backs. I'm hopefully getting 3. I know we have incoming receivers. So let's get a center. Definitely an edge. We should have a couple D tackles. Couple linebackers. Corner, I mean, that is extremely thin. This team looks so cooked. Just stick with me here. Stick with me. It was looking kind of rough for the last off season, and we pieced it together. This team's going to look a little bit different. All right, so I don't know if I want to bring back Myers specifically because he's going to be a senior. Can I just get a center that's going to be here potentially for a couple of years? I need Portal. No offers. Raw strength center from Penn State? Sure. And he's going to be very young. All right, so how did the progress go here then? We have fallen for Hornsby. I'm really worried about this battle. Second place on Trelane Maddox. And he's got a week 4 visit already lined up. All right, Caleb Hicks, this one looks good, but I might have to give up here. We have not been able to gain enough ground. He already has a week 4 visit. I think I'm out. I've lost that. All right, for Meeks, first place. We did it. We climbed up into first place. Neil Kennedy is still there. I might be okay just getting both quarterbacks, but I probably don't need 50 points on this battle. I'm just going to probably leave it empty. Whatever he decides. Xavier Johnson, Jackson Warren. Like, who needs the points at this stage? Holding off Northwestern, sure, but I'm already going 50 with the hard sell. I think I guessed wrong on my hard sell, too. Yeah. It's going to be that one. Ooh, Southern Miss. Hard selling here probably won't work. I might do a visit. Although our pitches are kind of weak. What do you think? Visit or just do more points? Maybe more points is better than a weak visit, unless it's complimentary. And would a safety be complimentary with a linebacker? Because I think I should put a visit here for Jaden Cotton. Especially because we have an A+ pitch. And then we'll make that complimentary. Boom. Conference prestige. I want Trent Norton Jr. So I have plenty of points, which means I can also get Isaiah Hornsby into that visit. So that's going to have a safety, a corner, and a linebacker all visiting. And I don't think that we're in better shape by hard selling. The pitches are just so weak. So we'll go 50 points plus a visit and see if that's enough to beat out UNC. Finally got to the stream. Been excited for this offseason after the amazing finish to close out. Loving this series. Sun Belt, Fun Belt. Yeah, it has actually been a pretty fun conference to be part of. I've enjoyed some of those mini rivalries and just following the better teams in the first 2 years. Thank you for the super chat. Kane, do you have a wife? I do. Yeah, let's go 50 here. No chance at Hornsby? It might not be the best chance, but I certainly think by having a visit and then putting an extra 10 on there, maybe. I'd say it's like 70-30 or 65-35. Let's go 50 here on Keon Dunlop. But I think this board is essentially ready. Maybe I can throw out a couple more, like, just random offers, maybe to a running back, considering I just had to remove one. Is there a running back at the 11th hour I could try to get here? I need no offers. I need... Let's see. The other running back I was recruiting had size, right? Yeah, 5'11", 217, Caleb Hicks. So I'm kind of open to all archetypes. But I want someone with no offers. Derek Dozier. Wasn't there a running back you guys were pointing out earlier I should look into? What was his name? And maybe he's already gotten offers and is out of the question now. Or has locked us out. It was Roche, wasn't it? Devin Roche. Is he the guy we need? Devin Roche. I do need a cornerback. Let me see. I'm trying to get Hornsby back. We can't count on that. I'm spreading the points out so much because I need so much. I should add a couple freshmen. But do I want to remove anybody from this board so I could instead maybe add a cornerback offer late? Let's remove Allen Hook and throw a cornerback on here. Top player, no offers. That doesn't hate our school. Any takers? Anybody at all? I'm going into the 2 stars then. Devin Ross, who's a junior. Or we got Lawrence Johnson, a sophomore. Congratulations to Lawrence Johnson. All right, I got 5 left. It doesn't really matter where they go at this point. All right, that's going to be the recruiting season, everybody. I do have a kicker, yes. We have been rostering 2 kickers, so we have one. Let me save, and we'll move on. I have a kicker. You guys want me to prove it? Clayton Amaya. And let me tell you, he can kick it a mile. That's going to cut the viewership in half right there, but let's continue on. That was so bad. There's one. Guys, this was like 10 years ago, and I still think about it like once a month or every other month. Do you guys remember in the Minnesota Dynasty, we had a cornerback named Joe Preston? And I think he caught an interception, or there was some sort of clips in training or practice, and I said, Joe Preston is in Preston. I think about that all the time. And it's been like 10, 12 years. All right, we have a safety. All right, Theo Booker. These are, first are those high school players. Steven Katula at running back. Frederick Cruz. Dallas Brown. Raheem Ismail. No music? Let's get some music going here because this is a celebratory time. Jamerson Sharp. We got Robert Ringo. Kevin Blair at edge. We're going to be very young again at edge this year. Ben Bragg. Leo Ferris. We got to be getting to those portal players here in a moment. Joseph Finley. Jackson Warren at tight end. All right, there's one. Neil Kennedy from Idaho Falls, Idaho. Xavier Johnson. He's our veteran receiver. Samaj Bridgman, Sam linebacker. Noah Herrick at D tackle. We get Keon Dunlap. Charlie Collins. Hey, Kane just got home. What did I miss? Well, we're getting our portal additions right now. We got a couple D tackles. We lost Bo Jackson, Ricky Collins, a lot of key players in the portal, so I've been trying to rebuild things on the fly. Jaden Cotton. Caleb Hicks at running back. As we lose Bo Jackson, this might be our new main running back. Cody DeCambra. Trent Norton Jr. You're telling me we lost the other quarterback target then. And we're going to see where Bo went and where some of these key players have gone. We are the 9th ranked conference, by the way. I really wish that we could get this up to a C+ that would satisfy some more deal breakers. Even the Americans a B. All right, it's National Signing Day. So you're telling me that we got into first place for the quarterback Meeks, and then Notre Dame took him at the last moment. Reggie Meeks goes to the Irish. Isaiah Hornsby leaves us to go to UNC. Wait a minute. We might end up with him anyway, Marquise Ivy here, because they didn't even offer. He might appear on our roster, though. We saw that happen last year. Okay, Lawrence Johnson, Jack State. He could still join us, though. He could. And then Devin Roche he saw our offer, and he's like, maybe I'm not playing football. And we'll see where our top players went, though. Thank you, Master, for the super chat. So not a clean sweep in the portal this year. We lost a lot. And if we have some players, that left, that are going to be in prominent roles on their new team, I'd love to have the chance to face them again. So Ricky Collins left. Ricky Collins has decided to take his talents to where? He might not have gotten any offers. Where? Because Josh Flowers, he goes South Carolina. Collins, nowhere. The playing time he wanted might not have been on the football field. He might have just wanted to go home and play Xbox all day. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. Keenan Kamara goes to Wisconsin. Ricky Collins, man, he might not go anywhere. He might go D2, Idaho. FCS, Idaho. I just learned the other day that there's a Minnesota team now that's FCS this year, St. Thomas. They made the jump from D3 to the FCS, the first team apparently to make that jump at once. All right, running back Bo Jackson. We know he had to be high in demand, right? He's a 4-star, isn't he? So, Bo, oh my God, he goes to Texas. Ohio State didn't play him. He says, I'm out. Goes to Arkansas State. runs over the Sun Belt, and now goes to Texas. But when will he get on the field, knowing how competitive it should be there? Does he get the playing time now? Playing style was his deal breaker, not playing time. If you're going to leave us, go to one of the big dogs, is all I say. Make that trip worth it. Bo Jackson to Texas. We'll see, what his role ends up. Hunter Summers to FAU. Romel Stevens goes to Texas State. We lose Chase Stratford to Texas Tech. We lose Drew Collins to Jacksonville State, which, by the way, just like a month ago I learned Jacksonville State is not Jacksonville, Florida. It's Jacksonville, Alabama, because they have to have like 8 FBS teams there in a state that's not even that large. Is that right? Or is it Georgia? Where's Jacksonville State? It's not Florida. Jacksonville State is Jacksonville, Alabama. Yeah. I have a punter. Kamari Nix goes to Duke. We all know Isaiah Hornsby went to UNC. Malachi Whedon to Michigan. Bro. Evan Brown to Temple. Malachi Whedon to Michigan. That's crazy. Well, we'll have to see if Ricky Collins ends up anywhere. We'll have to see if Bo Jackson's actually starting at Texas. All right, Caleb Hicks, incoming running back, 83 overall. And we got Jackson Warren at 82. Now, this is before we get all the good training. So, maybe it's not the quality of class we had last year, but we'll see if we can put this all together then. We got Neil Kennedy now on the roster. We had a third quarterback, Duncan Grant. I believe is granted an additional year of eligibility because he must have been a junior last season and then he got hurt. So I put him on injured reserve, which is, I think, a medical red shirt. So Caleb Hicks, he's going to have a big role, but I really hope someone can take a leap here. We're not going to have the same explosiveness in the backfield, though, for sure. Xavier Johnson, good player. Very similar rating-wise to J.J. Harrell, but you got to give him the edge in a lot of areas. We got some 4-star guys incoming. Stephen Harris, Damar Alba. We'll check on all those freshmen here once we get through the training results. But let me see if there's anything I have to move around. Got 5 tight ends, 3 left tackles, 2 left guards, 2 centers. I think we're okay, mostly along the offensive line. We got 7 edge rushers now. We have a bunch of D tackles. We added a 79 and 76 who will have a chance to develop. I don't think I have to really move anybody. 5 corners. Although, I wanted to move Jamerson Sharp to safety. Any reason why I shouldn't? Come on, just get it over with. It went away. It is still thin, yeah. And it's not that fast or athletic. I might have to leave him there at cornerback just to have another player. It's going to be a junior in Gorey, who is going to be our best guy, and then a bunch of young corners. I got one athlete to assign, Kevin Blair. So 76 speed, 79 acceleration at 6'4", 248. He has power rusher archetype. And I can't see enough ratings from that menu. They have him at edge or D tackle. Offense is out of the question. So I'll just list him then as left edge, Kevin Blair. Wide receiver to cornerback? Is there anybody that could do it? Let's sort by the entire roster. Let's just sort by zone coverage. Is there a receiver who wants to go to cornerback like Bo Melton? Pat Fargus, Dallas Brown. Give me a receiver popping here. I'm not sure that guy exists. Xavier Johnson, who's not moving. Just the way it is. Any athletes? I only had one this year, and I already assigned him. Wasn't really any debate over what he was supposed to play. Just make Xavier play both ways. Hey, I'm not against it. All right, guys, training results. Here are the highest rated players on the Arkansas State Red Wolves. That's a lot of 80 plus. All right, at the quarterback position, Duncan Grant to an 84. Now, his primary competition here is going to be the newcomer Neil Kennedy, who has one glaring weakness with his deep accuracy being a 64. I do think that Grant is going to have the chance to be the day one quarterback again this year. Check Bo Jackson. Sure, let's do that. Let's go to Texas. At running back, Harlem Berry, James Simon, Bo Jackson. He might have to wait his turn, depending if he can be named their third down running back or not. Dylan Raiola is the top quarterback now in the country. I wanted to see if Duncan Grant had gone anywhere, if we can see his name on this list. Not Duncan Grant, Ricky Collins. Go back to the C's. He called it right there. Just done. Instead of coming back. Gotta back out of the menu sometimes because like it wants to keep staying aligned to the right side. All right, so Caleb Hicks, Cedric Hawkins, D'Angelo Cooks. That's the main backfield, but Hicks is going to be more of a powerful, grinded out running back. I think we see an increased role for Cedric Hawkins. But Hicks has a pretty complete skill set. I think he was the perfect player to add. Just be nice if we also had Bo Jackson still on the team. Eric Coakley Hall, 67 at fullback. And a 6-point bump here to Xavier Johnson. We do not get a massive leap for Ofisa Orlando. But 5 points up for J.J. Harrell. Could be his time to shine. But yeah, I'm excited to have Xavier Johnson now in this offense. I think he's going to be a really nice fit. We'll see about, how the rest of it shakes out with our 4-star freshman. At tight end, Jackson Warren is an 84. Only 72 speed. So we're going to see probably Leo Westerman or Jabari Bush be that tight end too. And Westerman gets a nice bump. Route running wise, he's better short but worse medium than Bush. Who's the better run blocker? Jabari Bush got plus 14 run block. That is significant. That puts him in the tight end 1 conversation when he can run block like that. And he has 81 catching versus Warren's 80. And he's a vertical threat. All right. These two are the tight ends to focus on then. Noah Hacker to 73 at left tackle. We got Jaden Hartz to 79. Trent Norton actually becomes our highest rated center. He could start as a sophomore. And he's very good in pass pro. Nate Montague is a 74, getting a 7-point bump. Elias Butt is a 70. And then Randy Haslam and Taylor Ezzie become 70s. So this offensive line, it certainly isn't going to be all that high rated this year. But the defensive line now. Charlie Collins, plus 5, a very big addition. High play rack, high strength, high power moves, and block shed. We're counting on him to come in and be a very big difference maker. He replaces Drew Collins. And a 5-point bump for Devin Noteboom. Getting a boost, plus 2 to power, plus 3 to finesse. Hopefully year 2 is a little more impactful for him. At D tackle, Samu Tamanu Pepe. And Noah Herrick, 84 and 78 overall. We replace our starters. We have some good power move rushers. And Samu has 93 block shed. He's also up to 384 pounds. What was the dev for that center? Impact. At linebacker, Samaj Bridgman. We need a replacement for both Kilgore and Aaron Alexander. I think Samaj Bridgman gives us, either spot 94 tackling, 83 hit power. He's got Mike linebacker ability. BJ Wasevich is up 6 points. Primarily a run stopper, but his coverage got a lot better. I think he's going to get on the field this year. And then Jaden Cotton. I think we have pretty good linebacker depth. Could see some Pat Fargas with that good zone coverage. Cornerback. Marcus Gorey Jr. is an 83. One of the best corners in the Sun Belt. Devon Jolly. That's a good boost, getting into the 80s for man coverage. I think we're going to see Jolly take on more of a role this season. And there's an open role now in the slot, with Isaiah Hornsby moving on to UNC. At safety, 80 overall, Cody DeCambra. He's going to take over for Malachi Whedon. And at strong safety, Luke Wisham to 74. Keon Dunlap, the transfer. He's a 77. Really good tackler, really good catching. Probably going to get Dunlap on the field. The kicker is Clayton Amaya. 89 power, 79 accuracy. Alex Colbert remains the punter. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that came together. We'll take a look at our freshmen here in a moment. Encourage transfers. 74-man roster. I don't think we're cutting anybody. Hey, Rod Curtis showed up like I said he probably would. There he is. Was that the one I thought would come over? Or was it someone else? Marquise Ivy. He's the one. Ivy. What about the running back? Yeah, we got to see if the running back showed up. Roche. Tell me we got Roche. We did not. We got Lawrence Johnson, though. So that's something. Did anybody get Ricky Collins? We already checked once. We'll check one more time in this stage. Come on, please. There we go! Yes! Arizona! Now, I doubt he's going to start at 79. Oh, Camden Coleman, get out of the way. I couldn't offer to him. It wouldn't give me the option. Come on, Arizona. No. Where did Flowers go? I forget where Josh Flowers ended up. We saw it, but there were just so many things to keep track of. South Carolina sounds right. But if he's there, he's buried on the depth chart. And then I wanted to see what the role was for Bo Jackson. RB3, while third down running back 3, power running back 1. So he's going to play a little bit, but now would not be the time to try to face Bo Jackson. Man. Our starting quarterbacks keep leaving, but they're not going to starting spots. Ricky Collins, man. Could I edit Coleman's ratings? I'm sure nothing is stopping me. I think playing time should be the primary deal breaker once you're a senior. I think when you're going into your last year, like, all players should shift to that. Playing style and playing time. I feel like Collins missed out on training since he wasn't signed until after. Could we verify that? Because if he did miss out, it would be fair to give him a boost. And I believe he was a 79. You can't edit NIL player ratings. Okay. And I'm guessing both players in this case are NIL. Yeah, I can't edit Ricky Collins. I don't know Camden Coleman, but I'm guessing that's a real player. But Duncan Grant isn't, so you never know. Duncan Grant is not a real player. He's like a fill-in. Yeah. All right. Yeah, was Josh Flowers South Carolina? Not seeing him there. Let's check out Flowers quick. I can't see him starting, but I could see him being close with development. Duke, 81. We might have one. No. He might start in a year. I want to see Michigan because they took Malachi Whedon. I can't imagine he's playing. No, he's not. So that was a weird one. All right, let's take a look at our freshmen then and talk about how they could fit into this year and our roster. Got a couple running backs here. They're not very fast. Robert Ringo. Let's start off here with Steven Katula. 5'9", 214 impact dev. So quickness, I'd love to see that one get a little bit better. Elusiveness has upside. Power is unlimited. These are really good caps. Katula could be a starter, but he needs to get some speed and acceleration. And then Robert Ringo. He is normal dev. And caps aren't as good, but they're honestly pretty good still. So I made sure we'd have some more power backs for that role. Much more strength now. Higher break tackle ratings. Katula has 82. I could see Katula getting kind of a little bit of a role. But with his speed and acceleration, I'm not going to force it early. Probably going to redshirt him off the bat. All right, wide receiver. We got 2 4-stars. I didn't know much about them. Now, Stephen Harris, he's going to have similar speed to like Hudson Clement. 5'9", 162. He's small. And he's not as fast as you'd think to make that work. But he can run routes. Good route runner. Decent hands. Can make spectacular catches. He's a run after the catch receiver. Okay. Oh, I didn't see the caps. I was looking at the ratings. The caps are outstanding. Wow, those are amazing. And then Damar Alba, the speedster. 90 speed, 91 acceleration. Impact dev. And, decent caps. Not as good. But off the bat, he's more athletic. High spec catch again. Route running is better down the field. So, looking at the receivers then, the best hands, Xavier Johnson, DeMarco Blanton, a player we've never really played before. Catching traffic, Ofisa Orlando, Xavier Johnson, DeMarco Blanton. Short route running, Xavier Johnson, Ofisa Orlando, Stephen Harris, Jalen Dwyer, J.J. Harrell. For medium route running, the best is Stephen Harris and then Jalen Dwyer. Deep route running, it's Stephen Harris and DeMar Alba. Best release, DeMarco Blanton, Xavier Johnson. So this is going to be an interesting receiving core to sort out then. Because I think Johnson, Harrell, Blanton all play. And then how do Alba and Harris factor in? And who's the slot? I'm going to say with the release and just the all-around skill set, I'm not going to put Johnson in the slot. J.J. Harrell might be a fit there to hide that 67 release. But he only has like 72 catching traffic. So that's questionable. DeMarco Blanton might be a player for us this year. He might be one of our better receivers right now. Stephen Harris could be day one slot. He has enough catching traffic and route running to pull it off. Alba's skill set might have more overlap with the other receivers. And then Pierre Shembo also joined this year. How long do you think you'll stay in the Sun Belt with such good ratings? It all depends on how well we actually play, if we're winning games or like winning championships. But we'll take a look at those other teams too. For Pierre Shembo, Impact Dev, he's not going to get any faster, but he has enough speed. The caps are not bad. He's got starting potential. Another spec catch dominant player. Alba's deal breaker is playing time. Be careful with that. It is. So I really have like 5 receivers I want to play. But I may have to try Harrell in the slot. Got to see DeMarco Blanton. I've just not played him. He's always been like one spot too low on the depth chart. Alba for kick return? You know, that might satisfy some playing time like requirements. It's a really good idea. Alba might be our kick and punt returner. Or at least one of the roles. Maybe kick. Still have Harrell on punts. Harrell might be better for that. All right, I got Raheem Ismail at tight end, an impact player. But the caps look pretty nasty, unfortunately. Might be contributor one day. Can Harrell be a running back or a gadget guy? Yeah, I look at him as the main gadget player we have. I'm not against lining him up in the backfield from time to time and kind of moving him around. Especially after we did not add like that veteran, like change of pace running back. I think Harrell as the gadget, getting some of those snaps, makes a lot of sense. Get ready to learn J.D. McKissick, who was a receiver turned running back, I believe. at Arkansas State, right? Wow, that could be the coincidence of the year. Arkansas State. Yeah, J.D. McKissick. He's a record holder here. YouTube hid this from me. How dare they? Yeah, J.J. Harrell is going to be our J.D. McKissick. And we can technically call this a school tradition. J.D. McKissick is the Arkansas State career leader in receiving yards and receptions. 28-26. That feels like so low. Like, how many schools have a receiving career record that low? Air Force is close, and they run the triple option. Akron is under that. Was I on the... Yeah, receiving yards is what I'm looking at, and it keeps, like, changing where it is. Appalachian State, 3,400. Brian Quick. Tetaroa McMillan, 3,400. Jarius Wright is the Arkansas leader in receiving yards? Really? Jarius Wright is number 1? I was a big Jarius Wright fan with the Vikings. It was always third and right. Mr. Third Down. Auburn's leading receiver has 25.07. This just feels like impossible. Because you think, like, you know, give me a guy who had like 600 yards as a freshman and then a couple 1,000-yard seasons. I guess that kind of equals out, you know, like 2,600. But I'm thinking like 3 good years, one of them really pops, you get close to like 3,500 plus. Yeah, you got guys declaring early, so a lot of the best players, they play for one school for 3 years, and maybe one of those years wasn't full-time. Who's Buffalo's leading receiver? I always forget his name. It's, yeah. Naaman Roosevelt. That's actually a big number. Now, at some of these smaller schools, like, you're going to get 4-year starters, so they can run up some really big records. And then now today with like the transfer portal, like imagine a player having 3 or 4 very productive years with one school. I don't know, on one hand, like the transfer portal introduces movement, but the introduction of NIL might convince certain players to extend their college career. So there's a little give and take in like projecting out the records in the future, where they go. Marty Gilliard, holy cow. 4th rounder? 3rd rounder? Where'd Marty Gilliard get drafted? I can't even remember. I watched one of his bowl games once back in the day. Marty Gilliard went to the Rams. 2010. I think I remember watching one of his bowl games back in the day, but that feels earlier than I was thinking. He's currently the wide receivers coach at Massachusetts. Not UMass. Massachusetts. They're an indoor football team. Okay. Could do this all day. This is like one of my favorite hobbies right here. Sammy Watkins. Artavis Scott. Check Utah State. We're in the C's right now. Not familiar with Javon Hiley? Every time I go to college football, I see like 10 new last names I've never seen before. Hollywood Higgins for Colorado State. Eddie Conti. I don't know. He probably caught passes from Joe Flacco or something. Matt Nagy is their leading passer all time. This is the greatest menu in the game. Really is. Jamison Crowder. That's very Jamison Crowder-like to lead Duke in all-time receptions, but not yards. Zay Jones, 399. That's a lot. See, this is where I thought like most schools would have a Zay Jones or a Justin Hardy who just played forever. $25.63 for Florida feels insanely low. T.Y. Hilton, 35-31, the FIU legend. Rashad Green, I remember, I think he was drafted by like Jacksonville or something. Had a very short NFL career. Dalvin Cook's their leading all-time rusher. Charlie Jones, that's the guy with the Bengals, right? Charlie Jones, Fresno State. Terrence Edwards, Monty Sharp. Georgia Southern, man, 1854. We got to bump those up. Charlie Jones started at Buffalo, was Purdue. Am I thinking of a different Charlie Jones? I must be. Robert Davis. Some of these players I'm not familiar with. I might know a thing or two about this guy. Wait a minute. Calvin Johnson, step aside. Kelly Campbell. Am I thinking about the same Kelly Campbell who played for the Vikings for like 2 years and had like 40 career catches, if that? Yeah. Wow, he's the all-time leader in receptions? That's crazy. Jeremiah Atachu, there's a Chargers franchise legend there. He had more than 32 sacks in that series. I know that. Hawaii. Devon Bess. Greg Salas. 43-45. Got these air raid stats. Houston. Case Keenum, who might still be like the national pass yard leader too. Forget. David Williams at Illinois. Not familiar there. Not ringing a bell. James Hardy. I know who James Hardy is, right? I wish they would put like years on here. Marvin McNutt from Iowa. I remember him. He was drafted by the Eagles. Alan Lazard is like an Iowa State legend. Most receptions and receiving yards? Seriously. Brock Purdy played there for quite a bit too. Jack State. Josh Barge. I don't recognize anybody here. I don't think. David McLeod from James Madison. No, I don't know these guys. Jimmy Moreland, I do. Yeah, Jimmy Moreland, right? Needs more Goose Crowder. We'll get to Troy and see what their records are. Thank you, Chris. Desmond Briscoe. K-State's is Tyler Lockett. Man, 259 in college. I bet he has 1,000 between that and his NFL stuff. He needs 751 in the NFL, and he has 663. So he's pretty close to 1,000 combined. Darren Sproles, most rushing yards. Josh Freeman. Kennesaw State. Justin Sumter, 1989. These records could definitely get pumped up here. Kent State, we got Eugene Baker. Oh, is Zappi now the leader for passing? I knew Keenum held it for a while. Jared Lorenzen for Kentucky. Benny Snell. Pittsburgh running back. Antonio Gandy Golden. I was a believer. I was a believer when he went to Washington. Brandon Stokely for Louisiana. And Jake Delhomme at quarterback. Louisiana Tech, Trent Taylor in receptions. Troy Edwards in yards. Louisville running back Lamar Jackson, or quarterback Lamar Jackson. I kept thinking of the corner. I knew there were two Lamar Jacksons, none play running back. Lamar's their leading rusher all time. That's really cool. That's a lot of rushing yards for a quarterback. Holy cow. When sacks take you down. And I'm sure Lamar didn't play 4 years at Louisville. And consider how much shorter those seasons are, too. He started for 3 years. Had a 1,600-yard rushing season and a 1,500-yard rushing season. That's crazy. LSU, Malik Neighbors. See, that one's easy. Marshall. Not Randy Moss. It's Mike Barber. That's a lot of yards, though. Jermaine Lewis. Anthony Miller from Memphis. D'Angelo Williams. Miami's got Xavier Restrepo, who's on the Tennessee practice squad, pretty sure. Ryan Robinson. Braylon Edwards for Michigan. B.J. Cunningham for Michigan State. Richie James, really? For Mid-Tennessee State. Richie James is a receiving leader. That falls into like the J.D. McKissick category of like, how did that happen? Tyler Johnson. Eric Decker. You know, I was checking out the other part. I was checking out like a couple weeks ago. The last quarterback to get drafted from Minnesota, I think, was in the 70s. It's been like 50 years since a Gopher quarterback got taken in the draft. And the last one, I think, went in the 8th round. So it's like a round that doesn't even exist anymore. Receiving yards for Mississippi State, Fred Ross. Denario Alexander? Oh my God. Like a Madden 13, Madden 25 off-season target for everybody. Jermaine Saffold, Rob Taylor for Navy, another option school, so these records are pretty low. Torrey Holt at NC State. Stanley Morgan Jr. at Nebraska. Trevor Inslee, Terrence Mathis, Chris Williams, Ryan Switzer. Jalen Darden. Justin McCarons. Holy cow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Tennessee Titans receiver. Justin McCarons. Dwayne Bates. Yeah, old Bears receiver. Michael Floyd. The Vikings had him for like a month. Poppy White. Jeremiah Smith. Already Ohio State's leading. Oh, because we're into the future. So that one doesn't count. Samaje Perine. He had the single game record. I'm not sure if it still stands because it got broken a couple times, and then I wasn't sure if it ever got broken again. Ryan Broyles. James Washington. Wow. Antonio Vaughn. A.J. Brown. Sammy Parker. Mike Haas. Bobby Ingram. Tyler Boyd. Oh, wow. Mike Allstott is Purdue's leading rusher all time. John Standiford at receiver. Jarrett Dillard from Rice. I remember Jarrett Dillard. Wow. Kenny Britt. Nathan Stewart. J.R. Tolliver. Tolver. Noel Grigsby. James Prochet. Jalen Tolbert for South Alabama. Wow. Brian Edwards. It's just wild to think of some of these names because I'm more of an NFL guy, obviously. So it's like you got, role player, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 type. And he's like the biggest star to come out of his school. Like, some of these guys were like the biggest fish where they came from. They just keep getting into a new pond, and it's cool. Steve Ishmael, Josh Doxson. I was a Josh Doxson believer. I still don't know why it didn't work. Ventel Bryant, Joey Kent, Roy Williams. Which one? This was the one that went to the Lions first, right? Ryan Swope, Johnny Parker, Jakeem Grant. Wow. Eric Page, Jarrell Jernigan, Mark Zeno, Howard Twilley, Derek Ingram, David Rhodes. I haven't heard of like the last 6. Danny Farmer, Mark Didio, Stepfrit Williams, Adrian Zulo. I'm on like a 12 streak of not knowing who these players are. Ryan Wolf, Marquise Lee, finally. Jordan Dwyer. I thought Jordan Dwyer was a running back. Who am I thinking of? Brian Rowley, Kendall Smith, Johnny Lee Higgins for the Raiders. He was a kick returner and like a wide receiver 5. Zakari Franklin, Jordan Matthews, Billy McMullen. Holy cow. Cam Phillips, Ricky Prohl, Reggie Williams, Gabe Marks, Tavon Austin. Maybe the best highlight tape in college football history. Tawan Taylor. Haven't heard that name in a minute. Jarvion Franklin. Oh, that's running back. Corey Davis. We all know Corey Davis. Wisconsin's is Lee Evans, Bills receiver. Final team is Wyoming with Marcus Harris. Wow, I just went through every team's receiving leader. There's a rabbit hole I'm glad I went down. Jonathan Dwyer was a running back. That's right. All right, want to get back to our freshmen? Marquise Ivy, an impact dev guard. Run blocking, not a good cap there. Might be a decent pass protector, but he's going to have to, rely on that primarily. Got a couple tackles here. Joseph Finley is impact. Those caps look better. Those look nice. That's a future starting tackle, I would say. Dylan Boykins. Star Dev. That's not a surprise. I knew that. I wish run block wasn't so capped, but it is already an okay rating for him. Solid ceiling. Edge. Got a bunch of guys here. David Asper. Normal dev. With not the best caps. Still could play. He's a 70. Finesse moves is kind of his calling card. Kevin Blair, impact. Doesn't feel like I got a lot of normal dev players this year. Already 78 power, that's capped. A little bit higher than where he's at. Finesse is 74. He's got some room to grow there. Not bad. And Timmy Durr. Normal dev. Caps will limit his ceiling a bit. We got Ben Bragg, another freshman edge. Normal dev. Really high caps on the power move, but will it ever get there? Probably not. Quickness could get better. Not the worst. You can build a skill set out of this. D tackles. Stephen Diggs. I think we can live with these caps. Run stopping has a good ceiling. That should work out. And Leo Ferris. Normal dev. Not going to get his run stopping all that much higher. We're going to have to hope that he's got enough finesse moves. Not the highest ceiling overall here. Dallas Brown. Impact linebacker dev. Very high acceleration. Might be a decent run defender. He has 80 zone coverage. Just not the fastest guy. You know, I would be down if they move this system into Madden. I'm not, like, married to the way Madden handles development at all. And if anything, it's starting to grow pretty stale, being that it hasn't changed much. Frederick Cruz. These caps are not great. I'd love for him to get faster, and there is the chance that happens. But he is likely making the move. Or no, it's not him. Which one was it? Was it Cruz or Sharp? Because Sharp's slower. Jamerson Sharp is probably getting moved to safety in a year. We'll have to see if he gets any more athletic. But, like, his press is low. His zone coverage is solid. His man coverage is solid. I'd be interested in him at safety. We did lose Bo. He went to Texas. Theo Booker, impact. Really wish coverage wasn't capped like that. IQ is capped a lot, too. This isn't great. Can Sharp tackle? Got the best tackling out of our corners. 67. In comparison to our safeties, looks like it's a little bit below our top guys, but it blends in. Yeah, our whole offense basically left all over again. So, we need to get focused now on our next recruiting season. What do we got? First of all, what are we losing this year? 9 players on offense and 16 total seniors. We have 2 seniors at running back, 1 at fullback, 1 at receiver, 2 at tight end, 3 different offensive linemen, On defense, it's 1 D tackle, 2 linebackers, or 3 linebackers total, 2 safeties. I think cornerback's one of the early top targets. It's thin, and we could really use a more impactful player there. All right. So as we check out who is most interested in us right off the bat, no 5s are interested, and no 4-star players put us in their top. But we have a bunch of players putting us number 1 that are 3-star. And check it out. It's all linebackers. Basically all linebackers right now. So if we exit recruiting, I want to show you our abilities because I bought this toward the beginning of the stream. Linebacker transfers are more interested. We already have tier 2 for starting interest at linebacker. So that seems to already be playing out for us. Let's upgrade the one for DB. I don't know if it's too late for this to take into account this year. But I could also do some upgrading at other positions here. What side of the ball looks stronger? Man, it feels very even this year. A lot more balanced. I want more efficient scouting somewhere too. I felt like normal is pretty good. I'm into year 3 now, and there's still so much more for me to achieve as in the coaching ability side. Let's spend it here. D linemen take less time to fully scout. Yeah, I gotta get some specialists this year. That'll be something we do down the road. But let's build out our board. It's all linebackers here at the top right now. Let's go corner. Only a few cornerbacks are showing initial interest. Roshan Rhodes from Alabama. So that's a pipeline for us. Bernard Proctor, playing time deal breaker. Proximity to home's a good one to have. Let's go Jabari Treggs. And let's see if we can stretch and maybe get a 4-star cornerback this year. But I kind of want to take the same approach I had in the last offseason. So I'm not going to add those 4 stars to the board right now because I don't know if they're going to get offers. I want to wait until week 0 because then I can see who did not get a week 1 offer or a preseason offer and then make my move there. I think it'll be a lot more efficient that way. I know I'm going to go for a quarterback again this season. $781 on the board there. We put a couple quarterbacks there initially. So I am losing 2 running backs. I will have to address that. Receiver, not necessarily. tight end, linebacker, and corner. So we're definitely going to get a bunch of linebackers on the board. All right, for these running backs. Looking for some pipeline players or initial interest in us. Contact Seeker tends to be a lot slower. Playing style is an okay deal breaker to target. I feel like for Contact Seeker, I want more size. All right, that's 4 running backs on the board. Let's go tight end. Look at athlete thumpers. They are good. I've been pretty impressed so far with the thumpers and that they have a little bit of zone coverage. Usually that helps. What can't Drew do well? What do you mean Drew can't well? What does that mean? Always got to bring in a few offensive linemen. Give me like 2 targets at each position. Man, why are the edges all locking us out here? Might not have a 35-man board here right off the bat. All right, a signal caller, a thumper, a lurker, a couple lurkers, Picasso Rosado. There, I got a bunch of linebackers on the board here for Reggie Carter. J.R. Shembo, box specialist. I might give a box specialist a chance. I'll have to get a punter at some point. Doesn't have to be right away, though. And athletes. (6'1", 226), Jalen Addington. I'm going to put him on the board. That's more size than a lot of those contact seekers. And if he's an athlete, he might actually give us a little more juice. Legend Onwenu. Going on the board. All right, 33 is a good number for this one. Leaves me some room for the next stage to throw a couple 4s on there. So should I just offer it to everybody? Because I was going to do a little bit of scouting while I'm at it. So if I wanted to offer to everybody, 33 times 5, that's 165. So I'd have a lot of points still to scout. You know, positions like quarterback, it's nice to narrow it down, but I still have to spend 50 points to scout this position. That's the tricky part. But sometimes it's nice to narrow down like running back. So give me Jalen Addington. I want to know right away that 6'1", 226 contact seeker. I was hoping for more speed than that. Here's an athlete, East-West playmaker Bradley Durham. That'd be a good fit with our offense here. Definitely getting an offer. All right, so I found one there to offer to at least. Kareem Larimore. Might not be a huge priority there. Let me make sure I'm spending a lot of this scouting on defense, though. There we go. That looks good. Rashawn Rhodes. Better speed and acceleration combo than we've seen from many. Definitely an offer there. I just offered here to Jabari Treggs. Hopefully he's good. Probably a waste of 5 points there. Might not keep him on the board. There's just, you got to develop everything there in his skill set. .77 man here at safety, 87 speed, 73 zone, 72 tackle. Really like Cordell Herring. Got to save, you know, like 165-ish. Yeah. Which means I could scout maybe one more guy, and I got to really narrow it down here at linebacker. Let's go with Picasso here. That seems pretty good. Picasso Rosado. 80 speed, 77 tackle, 69 zone coverage. Could develop into a good do-it-all linebacker. And then I learned this trick from y'all. Need scholarship. And we'll just offer to everybody left. Yeah, he looks like a 50-point player to me. Like, more impressive than, like, BJ Wasevich was when he was my target in year one. Any games y'all playing? I know that we're getting some new stuff coming out. Borderlands dropped last week. What are you guys playing when you got a chance to sit down and do some gaming? I got a little bit more scouting I can do this week too. More linebackers. Cyberpunk. A lot of No Man's Sky. I still haven't gotten into No Man's Sky. I really want to sit down and really give it a good try sometime. I've had a couple false starts with it. I'm going to offer to one more cornerback considering I took one off the board. All right, that's our first session of recruiting done already for year 3. We haven't set a schedule yet, and I couldn't think of like a big non-conference game that would give us like a rematch with someone that we've seen. Jack State would be an interesting team to face. Although I kind of like to get my non-conference out the way and not have that random one later. Travel to Arkansas again. Play Memphis. That's already on there by default. We like that. Missouri State's there if we want to go against them again this season. What feels like a good week 1 opponent? I think we have a nice kind of balanced build right now with this team. What's a good ease us into the schedule in season type of game? Man, Arizona, man, if they would just play Collins. I gotta say, like, on paper, this looks pretty equal. Like, Arizona still might be a team worth facing. I know someone recommended Purdue earlier. Maybe they end up being a good fit for one of our opponents. Not bad. How do you pronounce that last name? How's Texas State look this year? I know their overall dropped a ton last season. Doesn't seem too bad, and their overall is higher now. Geo McCracken. Kind of want to change it up a little bit from the last non-conference schedule. Like, do I want to play Missouri State again? They are a rival, so... You know, it's kind of good to have them on the roster, or on the schedule there, especially if we're going to play Arkansas right ahead of that. But I want, like, a good home game to open. I think I'm set with Memphis, Arkansas, Missouri State, but we got to really switch it up for week 1. We're getting JMU on the schedule this year. That'll be interesting, getting to play them. Louisiana Tech, they're good. Who do I want to play there in week 1? Coastal Carolina? Well, they're in the Sun Belt. They'd have to actually be assigned to us. Haven't played Delaware before. You know, when there's so much change, especially on the offensive side, I don't mind scheduling a little bit easier matchup there in the first week, as a week where I'm trying to just kind of figure out what it's going to look like for the year and set things up more favorably. So I'll consider Delaware. Jacksonville State. Maybe Delaware over them still. Mid-Tennessee ain't looking too bad. It'd be nice if one of our players that transferred away was in like this obvious key role. Isaiah Hornsby going to UNC is going to be their cornerback 5. Come on, man. You would have been starting for us still. Definitely want to see them kind of keep ramping up the transfer logic, what gets players to pick certain teams, and ideally when players leave, it's to go get a better role. I feel like that's kind of missing right now. A lot of players are really, they're going to a better team, but they're downgrading their personal situation. I'm not sure many would really want to choose to do that. You know, Tulane was an excellent team last year. They won a playoff game. That'd be an interesting one. Not sure their roster is going to be up for a repeat. So I'm kind of thinking maybe Tulane or Delaware. One second, this page is giving me a couple of issues. Yeah, my chat just stopped entirely updating. Like, as soon as I asked a question and I got some answers, it just didn't give me any more messages. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't really understand their whole overall formula, because it's not like a simple one that you can just kind of spot, like looking at a roster and say, yeah, that's roughly an X overall. Because I feel like the difference between like the 55s and the 72s is really nothing at all. Buffalo might be fun. Did I ever play Buffalo in this series? Because I know in year 1, I just used that set schedule. In season 2, we didn't play Buffalo. It's got to take into account the depth, but I still don't know how they end up at the numbers. Trying to see how many players here I recognize from the Buffalo series. There's only a couple starters on offense. Shamar Reiser Presley. It's already changed quite a bit. Yeah, Purdue wouldn't be a bad one. That could be a fun test. How's that? Yeah, their D-line was pretty solid. That would probably be a tough running game for us to try to get started with. I don't know. I kind of want to be able to have a little bit better matchup maybe in week 1. Yeah, maybe I do go with Delaware. I've never played against them. Maybe in the UTSA series I did. Or the Kalispell. Delaware, Memphis, Arkansas. Put Missouri State in week 1 and put somebody else in week 4. That's always possible too. What if I open that? Can I put them there? Do they fit? That's Mississippi State. There's Missouri State. So we could do that. We're meant to go on the road. 2 rivalries. And then Arkansas. What would be a good one to follow up Arkansas then? Purdue's not an option. Minnesota's unavailable for this matchup. I've never seen a complete 0-star team. Yeah, we actually have a few of them here. They're half stars. At Boise State. Let's see, how many home games do we need to have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need this to be a home game then. Kind of want to see if Pitt would be a good fit, looking at their overall. Like, playing a larger school that's a little bit closer to us than Arkansas is kind of an appealing way to end that. And to give us a couple, tough opponents ahead of going into our conference schedule, I think will set us up. That's a pretty good team. That one might be a little much. I might want to go a little bit lower rated than Pitt. What do you guys think? How's their defense look? Still pretty good, I think, compared to what we're going to see in the Sun Belt. I don't think it'd be a pretty game for us. We could see UTSA potential. I want someone close to our overall. UCF? Let's check out UCF. Why is South Carolina so low? What happened? Maybe this is where Tulane could also make some sense. I actually like Tulane as like a non-conference ender. If Tulane fits, maybe that's the best. Otherwise, UTSA is all right. South Carolina, though. Still looking like they have a lot of 80-plus talent. But yeah, I could see them struggling again there in the SEC. This offense is looking bad. And then I wanted to see UCF's roster. This would be a pretty decent fit, too. I feel like we'd be on a pretty even playing field here with UCF, honestly. Okay, so let me see Tulane or UCF. I wish I could play a smaller Arkansas team like Pine Bluff. I can't do Tulane. I'll do UCF. I liked that matchup a lot. We get like a more even non-conference matchup there. They went 9-4 last season. Then we get Marshall, JMU into the Sun Belt schedule. Tulane was there, were they? There they are. All right, who do we think? Tulane or UCF? Tulane was that group of 5 playoff representative last year. I need to play him at home, so we have 6 home games. Poll. Yeah, you guys help me here with a poll. I think I have to do it from my other page. I'll leave it up to y'all. My live control room page for streaming is kind of stuck. Take on the class of the non-Power 5. All right. You can vote now. Let that run for like a couple minutes. Man, this one's close. Get your votes in, everybody. It is neck and neck. Don't do both rivalries away. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know we played Missouri State last year, and we played Memphis last year. I'm guessing that we are just alternating what happened a year ago. Let me see if I can pull up the schedule and double check it. We played... I'm finding like clips of where I showed the schedule, but I didn't have like the entire schedule shown. All right, y'all are saying we should play Tulane, it looks like. We're going to end the voting there. 56 to 44 percentage. We'll play Tulane. Might play them at home because I need 6 home games. We want both rivalries at home. Hey, Ian, I appreciate that super chat. Thank you. All right, this would have it be even. We'll just go with this. We'll go at Tulane. And let's advance. Just want to take a little peek at recruiting here. As I wanted to see, okay, so Rashawn Rhodes is one of those top players for me, and he has 2 offers. Just kind of want to see who got multiple offers. Greg Stockton at running back. Already locked out on 1 player. Ramon Brink. The athlete. Jason Goodman, Johnny Sharp. Picasso Rosado. I already know he's going to be one of my top targets. I'm just going to throw a 50 on there and walk away. Cordell Herring. Clay Rousseau. Legend Owenu. Max Dorsey has 3. And yeah, I'll throw a couple fours on the board and see if we can get any luck to go our way there. So 4-star corners, no offers. Good luck finding any. Every single 4-star corner has an offer, including one who has 16 offers. Joseph, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Hopped off for a little bit. What did I miss? Essentially, we lost Bo Jackson to Texas. We lost Ricky Collins to Arizona and a bunch of other players. But I think we rebuilt nicely through the portal again. We're not nearly as deep at receiver. Looks like Duncan Grant is our quarterback this season. We have a new starting running back who has some good size, but we don't have the same speed now coming out of the backfield. We don't have a bunch of senior transfer players at receiver. I brought over one player. And we got some really good linebackers in the portal, some solid D tackles. We're very thin at cornerback. If I didn't choose Arkansas State, who would you have chosen? Troy. I was very close to picking Troy, but Arkansas State ended up winning out in the end. All right, so I can't get a 4-star corner without competing. Running backs. There's maybe one guy, if that's a high enough priority. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Daniel Bowman. Bowman? We could put him on the board. How about quarterback? Nope. Receiver was what we did last year. I'm looking elsewhere right now, but I just want to get an idea of how often these opportunities are going to come up for us. There are so many 4-star receivers. And there are some who have no offers, but they've also all locked us out. No one yet along the offensive line. There aren't any. There are very few 0-offer 4-star players that we can go after right now. This is interesting. We don't meet deal breakers on guys that could work. I might not have many choices. I found one player in the entire class. Did I miss anybody besides Daniel Bowman from Minneapolis, Minnesota at running back? That's it. That's surprising. We had 2 4-stars last year. I do not see it playing out again that way with us. Now, I would be interested maybe in a player that had us like in a pipeline or a really good deal breaker. Pro potential went down. Yeah, we had nobody drafted last year. So there's another running back we could go after who has an offer from Auburn, but do I want that battle? Do I want that fight? Do I want to go after a receiver who has an offer from Tulane? Maybe. What about a center who just wants playing time? That could be worth it. Yeah, we'll try that. So 4 stars on the board. Keontae Bargava, wide receiver, gadget. Cliff Watford is a center. That's Tennessee. So we'll offer here to Bauman. Should I just send the house on these guys too and see where it goes? Is it worth it for Watford, though? Is that just a waste of points? Because I need to think about the rest of this class, too. Don't try for Watford. And I haven't yet been able to do like a more full scouting. It's hard to put 50 points on the board for players right now. I know I want to go for Rashawn Rhodes. I scouted him, and I know I want to go after Picasso Rosado. Curious about quarterbacks, but the scouting is expensive right now at 50 per player. Yeah, I kind of like putting more like 25 and then just see like if we get the movement we're looking for. But I'm a one-star team, so I still don't have the hours to really go around nicely. And maybe for this week I don't go 50 on Rosado, but I do like 35. That feels a little bit better. Let's, so we know what this is going to have to come down to 3-star players. I kind of just got confirmed. Scout Abir Amiri. Coverage is on the lower end. Decent press. Low press on Bernard Proctor. Feel like I'm going to have to add more cornerbacks to the board. I need more than just a few to choose from. Cordell Herring. Yeah, I liked him. Definitely. And let's scout Clay Rosso as he's looking into UCF. They can have him. Not going to compete. One sec, my cursor wouldn't move. See, let's do a little bit of offensive line work now. Nathan Soliday. Very solid indeed. '86 impact blocking looks pretty good there. Good run blocker here in Connor Flood. So, I'm looking for like those first 8 to 10 players that I'm really going to start going for heavily. Looks like we got the start of a decent little board here. Really like Soliday. Where are my athletes at? Quite a few, actually. So this was a 3-team battle. I kind of want to know, like, am I in? Am I out? Where am I on these players? That looks pretty good for pass rushing, and the strength is nice. On Max Dorsey. Competitive one, though, and BYU's got a Tier 4 pipeline. I like the music, John. Yeah, this is from the YouTube audio library, a track called Golden Empire. Got 3 offers here on Ramon Brink. I have a couple O-line targets. Might have to just go for another linebacker. It's kind of a thin spot. Let's finish this one. Fine prospect here. Not a super high priority, but... Alright, that's going to spend basically all of our points here. Yeah, I'm excited to get into year 3. Already excited to continue recruiting. You guys want a little bit of practice before I head out? Not going to do a ton of it, but we got some new players to take a look at. Got to reset this depth chart. So Duncan Grant is back. Set to be the day 1 quarterback again. Caleb Hicks is the new running back. I'll edit some numbers and stuff later, but I want to see Caleb Hicks. I want to see, you know, Xavier Johnson, J.J. Harrell, DeMarco Blanton, Alba and Harris, Jackson Warren, and Jabari Bush at tight end. All right, let's check it out. I think my main concern going into the year is that now in each of the 2 years in this series, we've had Corey Rucker be the star that leads the offense. Year 2 had Bo Jackson. And then some really good, you know, the good receiver trio. Who is that guy this year? And if he's not there, do we have enough? Considering our quarterback might not be as dynamic as Ricky Collins. And then the receiving core is a lot younger. The backfield isn't as explosive. We're kind of going for a more balanced build this season. And I guess I got to see it to believe it, if it's going to work. So Xavier Johnson, J.J. Harrell, they're out there at wide receiver. Got Stephen Harris here. He's going to get the slot opportunity. I like that. You know, I get so used to having these more mobile quarterbacks that when I don't anymore, it can be tough at times. It definitely makes things easier when you can call, you know, read options and scramble. But if we're going to have Duncan Grant, I got to get into the playbook and make a few changes. You know, get a little bit more quick game and some more variety so I feel like I'm not running out of options. But yeah, we got more power in the backfield, so I'm going to have more short yardage options. But man, no Bo Jackson. I don't know how we're going to look this year without him. I'm already seeing too many repeat plays here. Give me something else. Now, give me some 2 tight end. Ooh, a little off there. Jackson Warren. There he is. There's the new tight end replacing Houston Thomas. And, you know, this was brought up earlier, but the possibility of using a player like J.J. Harrell as a gadget might be necessary, and speak of, there he is. So we don't have any running backs on the team now that are above a, like, 89 speed. And we have, like, 5 receivers that I want to get involved in the offense. So one thing we can do is give J.J. Harrell more of a hybrid role and true backfield snaps, where his speed is definitely a difference maker. And if we can use him maybe doing some of the receiving stuff we had from Bo Jackson, then that might end up filling in some of what's missing going into this year. Jabari Bush. Got a little Cordell Patterson type role for him. Xavier Johnson. Deep. Caught. Touchdown. Johnson's a well-rounded player. He can be a field stretcher if we need him to. Good chance he ends up leading us in a receiving this season. And we got him from a rival. So when we play Memphis, second game of the year, that's going to be a storyline. Their top receiver transferred to us, and we're going to try to beat him again. So let me see here. If I go, I want to make sure Harrell's listed as our top gadget. Yeah, our secondary is a concern. Absolutely. It's hard to grade the defense really in practice. But yeah, moving the ball hasn't felt too hard right now. So let's go to one of these formations that maybe has some screens or something. Yeah, let's try this one. I like this formation a lot. So the sub I want to do then, you look on the bottom here. I'm not sure if my camera is covering it right now. I can move this now. But there's a gadget at running back formation sub, essentially. There it is. So that will put J.J. Harrell into the backfield, which it didn't do. Why not? I guess I have to just call the play if that's what I want. So imagine we're trying to, get some more explosiveness out of the running game, and now J.J. Harrell's there. A little read option with him. We can just line him up in the backfield and be like a more dynamic check down option. There's DeMar Alba. Ooh, look at that speed burst by J.J. Harrell. I think he's got to be a bit of an X factor for this season, after being more of a role player. It's fun seeing players with their roles, evolving over the course of a career. Ooh, got him there. Wide open. Ah. Here we go. 221 wing. Military stunt. 414 set up. Now we're shredding them here with Jackson Warren. Yeah, like imagine they bring a little pressure over the top. Wow, how is he step for step? That's phenomenal coverage. They cover the wheel routes a little well sometimes. But yeah, a little J.J. Harrell gadget action is in store this season. There you go. That wheel route was better. Harrell back as a receiver this time. Come on, Duncan. Here we go. In the open field. We got him this time. Not sure what expectations should be yet of Hicks. I want to get, hopefully reliable and short yardage. I think that we're still going to use, a lot of multiple running backs. Cedric Hawkins will still play. We'll feel it out in week 1. I've seen Hicks fall forward, break some tackles. Feel like he can take on some of this contact. There we go. Bouncing off. He has a little bit of elusiveness in his game, too. Like, I think he's a really well-rounded player. Can catch the football. It's just he's replacing a player who he's not going to be able to entirely replace. We were lucky to have Bo Jackson, but that was a one-year deal. There we go. Good catch. But man, like, the transfer portal has made it so these series are so different from, like, my NCAA 14 stuff, where you generally knew, all right, I have these players, we're going to be developing them over the course of a few years. I've basically had 3 offenses with limited overlap in this dynasty now. Outside receivers should be Johnson and Alba. Harrell as the gadget slot. Redshirt Harris. Yeah, I think I'll feel it all out during non-conference play, and then we'll see where things end up. Like, Harris does set up to be one of the better slots on day 1. Harrell obviously could be a gadget slot. I like that role for him. And then the wild card is like DeMarco Blanton, because he's got some decent ratings. He could fit in as a starter as well. But yeah, when you look at like Alba and his deal breaker was playing time, like I kind of want to make sure he's out there, get him involved on special teams then, so he's not, in a rush to get out of here when the season's over. Harris, he's not as dynamic as Harrell. Does he make up for it in enough ways? JJ has better underneath route running, and he's a lot more dynamic of a player. Catching traffic is where Harris has the advantage, along with spec catch. But Harrell fits, perfectly in the slot. And then it'd be like Blanton and Alba to be that wide receiver too. And Alba is faster, stronger, better acceleration, higher break tackle. Just a more dynamic player who's not as refined. Blanton has better hands, better route running, better catching traffic. So if you were to ask what our best, if we're just going to play our best 3, it's the top 3 guys. It's Johnson and Blanton on the outside, Harrell in the slot, Alba rotates in as the 4 and can also, just play special teams and maybe get him like 20 snaps a game offensively or something. I don't understand where the All-Americans tab is. After you get to conference championship week, maybe past that, I thought there was just a page that showed the All-Americans. Maybe you sim too far and it goes away. I'm not sure. Yeah, Roman, I think that's possible. You know, we know that that's enough speed to get the job done. It's what Hudson Clement had, essentially. Clement, though, was a better overall route runner, so it was easier for him to get open. Harris, at the same time, has the best medium route running. Jalen Dwyer is a close second. But yeah, DeMarco Blanton, he will have a role. When we go to 2 receiver sets, then I can't think that J.J. Harrell's one of our top 2 receivers for that. Because he's a little more limited. Lower release, lower catch in traffic. If there's only 2 receivers on the field, you know, I might want someone else out there. DeMar Alba has only 75 short route running, so it's probably not him. I think it's probably Blanton then. DeMarco Blanton.
Go! Let's go! Fly, trumpet!
So here's some 4 receiver. I don't have it perfectly set up yet. Let me see if I can get that where I want it. Now, in these 4 receiver sets, what happens usually is that they'll take your top 2 slot receivers. There'll be the 3 and the 4. So I think if I set it up this way, where it's Blanton as the second slot, then it puts Alba on the outside, where he's probably better. So yeah, we could see a lot of this package. 4 receivers. You could even put J.J. Harrell at running back there, put another receiver on the field, and basically go 5 wide that way. Alba over the top. Oh, against Gory? Yeah, the explosiveness counts for something. Yeah, I really wanted to have Ricky Collins, and like in the Buffalo series, I got so used to like switching out my quarterbacks all the time. And that's how this series has now been. It wasn't until like E.J. Colson I had like back-to-back years, and then it was, you know, I had to find the next guy again. And then I had David Ogbonna leave. Then I had Kenyon Traylor, and the series ends. So I haven't watched any Scorigami videos. Like I'm aware of what Scorigami is. I think it's kind of interesting, but I didn't know there were videos. I'll have to check that out. That sounds like something I'd be into. If we can sit here for like 15 minutes and just scroll through the receiving leaders, you know, something like Scorigami, it's got to have a little bit of overlap on the Venn diagram of interest.
Here we go. What are you doing?
So yeah, I feel like I have a good grasp on what we have going into this new season. It's going to be interesting, guys. I'm not sure, if we're going to be as good of a team as we were last year. I do know that things are going to have to look a little bit different. But I don't think that we have a bunch of glaring weaknesses. We just need to have a really good, well-rounded team come together. We're not going to have those star players that really lift us. Can each position group kind of carry their weight then? We'll see. I did add some pretty good difference makers on defense. You got Gorey at cornerback. A lot of our top defensive players are transfer portal additions. Caleb Hicks will be a running back solution for one season. Again, we'll see some Cedric Hawkins and D'Angelo Cooks. And maybe Ringo and Katula, an emergency. They're both going to get redshirted. But I could see, there's a game where I want to get a power back in. I'll just pick one of them, but I won't let either one get to, 5 games played. Their ratings are too similar where I could just kind of flip a coin and decide who's going to get it. I think Harris and Alba should play over Blanton for development's sake. Yeah, there's always that argument. There's always an urgency, though, in the college game to just, do whatever it takes to win. And, I'm sure there's not a huge gap between Blanton and Alba, but consider, 10 catching, 5 catching traffic, 6 short route running. Blanton does have an edge. And I'll probably give both a chance. Harrell, I think, is going to be more slot only. Yeah, we're a 1-star again. I thought maybe going 7-6, winning our bowl game would give us a boost, but not yet. All right, guys, that was a fun offseason. I hope you all enjoyed it. And Season 3 is going to be coming your way soon. Thank you for all the support. And I'm excited to get into this new season. It's mid-September. I feel like we're on a pretty good pace right now. And we're not even at the point where I'm having 2 big series. I'm still running the Marlins and the Steelers franchise. And now with the gameplay improvements on Madden, those slow sim tests for me went really well today. I think that, could be entering a decent little stretch of fall for these series. But thank you all for coming. On your way out, maybe consider checking out the sponsor of the stream, Control Freak. You can save 12% on your order using the code MrHurriicane. Check out all their controller accessories. If you want to improve the grip on your controller, improve your aim if you play shooters. I just think they feel better than the sticks. And so even, with college football or whatever I'm playing, I prefer to have the clutch thumbsticks myself as kind of the jack of all trades option there. But thank you all for coming to the stream. Y'all have been great. And I appreciate you all spending some time here. Have a good night, and I will see you when we get into Season 3.